Hi friends, this is Raja. Welcome to Coder's Companion. The topic that I am going to cover in this video is nested loop. This is a series of video on Python programming for beginners. And for more videos, you can visit my channel or click on my playlist link given in the description. Before moving on to the video, I would recommend you to subscribe my channel so that you get the notification each time I publish a new video. Let's get started. These are the subtopics in looping statements. In this video, we are going to see the last topic, nested loop. In Python, a loop can be used inside another loop, and it is called nested loop. This is a syntax for nested for loop, where a for loop is inside another for loop. And this is a syntax for nested while loop. Here a while loop is inside another while loop. We can also have multi-level nested loops like this. And we can also use mixed combination of for loop and while loop nested to each other depending on the requirement. Let's see an example on nested loop. Here I am writing a for loop to iterate list of people. The inner for loop is to iterate list of eatables with indentation of 4 space. The print statement inside the inner for loop will print I is eating j, where I and j are the looping variable of outer and inner for loop respectively. For each element in outer for loop, it executes a inner for loop. You can see that the output is Tom is eating apple, Tom is eating cake, Tom is eating pizza. Once it exits the inner for loop, it takes the next element, Clara, and again enters the inner for loop and prints Clara is eating apple, Clara is eating cake, Clara is eating pizza. Let's write the same program in Python ideally. Here I am creating a list variable person consists of sequence of names. I am creating another list variable food consists of sequence of eatables. I am using a for loop to iterate through person and an inner for loop to iterate through food. Inside the inner for loop, I am printing I is eating j. Let's save and run the program. The output is for each item in outer loop, it iterates through all items in the inner for loop. Now let's write program for nested while loop. I am using the same list variables. Here the loop variable I is initialized to 0. While I is less than length of person, which is 3. Inside the while block, I am initializing a loop variable j is equal to 0, which will be used in the inner while loop, while j is less than length of food. With the additional indentation of 4 spaces, print person of I is eating food of j. Increment j by 1. Now inside the outer while block, increment I by 1. Now you can see the output is same as the previous example. Let's write some programs to print asterisk in patterns such as rectangle, triangle, inverted triangle and many more using nested loop. We can have many ways to solve a particular problem in Python program. But here I am using nested loop specifically to solve these problems. Let's start with rectangle. In this pattern, I want to print 10 asterisk in a line for 6 times. Let's see an example. I am using a for loop with range of 6 to print 6 lines. And I am using an inner for loop with range of 10 to print 10 asterisk in a single line. In this line, I am just printing the asterisk, and also I am using end parameter is equal to empty string because I want to print the 10 asterisk in the same line. The next print statement is for outer loop. It's an empty print statement. It is used just to move the cursor to new line. When I run the program, it is going to print 10 asterisk in a single line and moves to next line and again prints 10 asterisk and moves to next line and repeats the same until it completes 6 lines. Now let's write the program in Python ideally. I am writing for loop with range of 6 and another for loop nested inside the outer for loop with range of 10. Print asterisk with end parameter as empty string. An empty print statement will move the cursor to new line. Save and run the program. It prints asterisk in this pattern. I want to add spaces between the asterisks so that output is neat. You can just add a space after the asterisk or you can add a space as end parameter value. Both will produce the same output. Now it looks good. You can play around with inner and outer range value to see the variations in the output pattern. Let's update 10 as range value for outer and inner for loop. As the range of inner and outer for loop is same, it prints the pattern as a square. Now let's print asterisk as triangle using nested loop. We can achieve it by just doing a small change in the existing program. In the inner for loop, replace the range of 10 to range of I, which is a loop variable of outer for loop, so that the number of asterisks increments by each iteration and finally we get the output printed as triangle. You can see that for range of 6 it prints 5 lines. It is because the I value is sent to inner loop and initial value of I is 0. So it will not enter the inner for loop for first iteration and printing starts from next iteration where I is 1 and increments by 1 after each iteration and prints asterisk in incremental order. Let's see this in Python ideally. In the existing program, I am replacing the inner range of 10 to range of I. Save and run the program. It prints asterisk as a triangle. You can vary the outer range value to increase or decrease the triangle pattern. Let's update the outer range to 15. Now it prints a bigger triangle. Let's change it to 8. The output looks like this. Let's print an inverted triangle using nested loop. We can achieve it by doing a small change in our existing program. In our program, the outer for loop is having range of 6. We need to change the range of value in reverse order. For that, replace range of 6 to range of 6, 0, -1. Range of 6 will generate numbers from 0 to 5. Range of 6, 0, -1 will generate numbers starting from 6 to 1. Once after I change the range of value in reverse order, I get the output as an inverted triangle. Let's write this program in Python ideally. In my existing code, I am just updating the outer range function as range of 8, 0, -1. Now my code is ready. Save and run the program. The output is an inverted triangle. Let's combine the code to print triangle and inverted triangle as one program so that I get the output like this. This is the code to print triangle and this is the code to print inverted triangle. I combined the code to print triangle and inverted triangle. Save and run the program. This is the pattern we get as output. Now we can change the existing output to look like a diamond, like this, by just doing some changes to my existing program. To modify the output, I need to add spaces to the upper triangle, decrementing the spaces by each iteration, and also need to add spaces to the lower triangle, incrementing the spaces by each iteration. Now it looks like a diamond. To achieve this output, let's add another inner for loop here inside the upper for loop. For k in range of 6 minus I. In next line, print a single space with n parameter as empty string. Here, I value ranges from 0 to 5. K value will be 6 minus 0, 6 minus 1, 6 minus 2, and so on. So k value ranges from 6 to 1. As the k value decrements by each iteration, thereby decreases the space by each iteration. And the output we get looks like this. If we write the upper for loop only, then it will generate output like a equilateral triangle. Let's add the same code right here inside the lower for loop. Here, I value ranges from 6 to 1. K value will be 6 minus 6, 6 minus 5, 6 minus 4, and so on. So k value ranges from 0 to 5. As the k value increments by each iteration, thereby increases the space by each iteration. And the output I will get is a diamond pattern. I am writing the same program in Python IDLE. Here I am adding a for loop inside the upper for loop to add spaces before printing the asterisk. Also add the same for loop inside the lower for loop. Let's save and run the program. Now you can see the output as diamond pattern. Here 8 is a hard-coded value. I want to get the value dynamically as user input. Let's modify the program. I am adding this line to get the range value from the user and assign it to a variable named num. Now replace the hard-coded value 8 with the variable num. Save and run the program. Let's enter 12 as input. You can see that the width of the diamond pattern it prints varies based on the input we passed. If you want to print only the equilateral triangle, then remove the lower for loop and run the program. I am entering 9 as input. Now it prints an equilateral triangle. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click on the like button, share the link to your friends, and for any questions and comments, feel free to post it in the comment box. And don't forget to subscribe my channel so that you get the notification each time I publish a new video. See you in next video.